Hey, what's going on, guys? So this week I'm going to give you guys an update on some things that has been happening around the fish room. Hey, what's going on, guys? So this week I'm going to give you guys a update on some random stuff that's been happening throughout the week. So first things first is this is the snail tank over here. So I'm keeping all my MTS snails over here. But what was happening was I had these lids. These lids here work really great. You can cut them up to whatever and just put them on. But as you can see, they have pretty big openings. And I had it on the snail tank, and what was happening was the snails would come up and come out of the tank. They pretty much climb, right? They stick to the walls and they climb out. They would basically fall out of the tank, and when they fall out of the tank, they would just fall on the floor here and they just shrivel up and die. So I had a bunch of them pretty much die on me, and I figured, you know, let's figure a way to try to prevent this. So I ended up having to buy a normal lid for this tank. I'm gonna see if this helps improve this. As you can see, you know, some are still getting out. There is still a gap out here, right? But it's a lot better than what it was before. Obviously with this, you know, there's holes everywhere on both ends, right? Depending on how it's sealed, and especially on this side here, it's just completely wide open. So right now it's only on one side that they can get out of. And I'm thinking of maybe just even taping it down on one side or just sealing it off completely on one side so that they can't, you know, come out from either end. But as you can see, you know, we do have a couple guys coming out, so I gotta think of something else on top of this lid here to try to keep them inside this tank. Well, the shrimp tank got some nice water changes yesterday, so it's looking a lot cleaner and happier, especially with the snails being removed and putting into that tank. Now that tank is starting to get dirtier. So I think the snails was causing, you know, some of these tanks to kind of look really dirty, kind of like down here. Remember how this tank used to be kind of really dark and just like covered with poop, and I think that was due to the snails. But now, as you can see, it's kind of looking a lot more lively and looking a lot more clean. All right, so going on to the Pleco Sump here. Finally got in the pot, so I planted some plants here. I basically moved all of the plants across to this side here, along to this side. So we got all of our plants grown in here. We got some other ones I'm trying to grow back out. But mainly the swords. Right now I'm just using the LED strip here. This is the Planet satellite. The Monte Carlos is doing still fairly well. I'm gonna wait until that gets covered in. It'll be nice and good there. All right, so let's get a quick shot of the little lobster. He's always back here, just chilling. He likes it in that little corner here. Just been kind of picking his little spot. But the other day I found a really cool thing where he molted, and I'm gonna show you a clip real quick. All right, so look at this. The little lobster molted, and this whole shell is like still hard. It's crazy. At first I looked at it, I was like, oh no, the little lobster died. But then I was like, wait, they molt. Same thing with the tail here. Look at that. It's crazy. Isn't that crazy? All right, so hopping on to Apex Fusion. Oh man. So the one thing I don't like about the Apex right now is the Wi-Fi. It's like super spotty, where like it'll disconnect randomly, and you'll have to reconnect it. I guess it depends on where you place your Apex. So like if you kind of place it a little bit low, away from some of the Wi-Fi connection, like it disconnects a lot. So I'm gonna have to reset the Apex here and then get an internet connection for it. I can hardwire it too, but like the whole point of getting this to be Wi-Fi is to have Wi-Fi on it. So anyways, let's do that real quick. Okay, so it's back online after that reboot. Looks like the Trident's reinitializing every time you unplug it or whatever, it has to reinitialize. But I wanted to show you some of the levels here. So the salt, it hasn't updated since yesterday, since it disconnected here. So, but as you can see, it's been hovering around 33.0 to like all the way up to 34. So this is really good. My target has been around 34. Right now it's around 33.5. So on the next water change, which is going to happen later today, I'm going to increase the salt just a little bit more and try to keep it in around the 34 range here. And once I get it around a little bit higher up here in terms of average, we'll just kind of let it go, right? So salt level has been consistent. The OPR finally has been pretty stable. Every time it does this crazy dip here is when I do a water change. I turn it off and debris and whatever gets all crazy. But as you can see, like, a couple hours or whatever afterwards, it comes right back up. Same thing here after the water change. And these levels has been slowly going way up. I believe this is like the oxygen level or whatever in the reef tank. And when I first plugged this in, this was like in like 100 and something, 128 or something like that, something, or 180, something really low. And I think that's due to the salt level being way off, and I had to bring that up. So once it kind of brought up back to the normal levels here, these levels went way back up as well. And I'm expecting it to be around 370-ish once everything is kind of stable. So that's pretty good. pH has been, the same, pretty consistent. Nothing really has changed here. It dips in these low territories around morning time where the light's not on, and then when the lights comes on, it ramps all the way up to around here. So pretty stable, pretty consistent. This hasn't really fluctuated. Temperature. So temperature has been all the way up to 83, 84-ish during summer months. But as you can see, like, it's September now, so it's starting to get a little bit cooler. Like, this drop off here is because we had a pretty chilly night yesterday night, and temperatures are going to start looking pretty decent here, and a lot cooler. So I think this right here is going to drop back into 78 range soon here. So this is probably going to be pretty good. The Trident, the Trident's been working really phenomenal so far. So alkalinity for me has been kind of been stabling around 7 point something all the way up to like 8.2. So it's been kind of hovering around here, and this is because of my manual dosing. Um, like I said, once I kind of get a little bit more data point here, I'm going to do the automated, so that way this level here isn't as crazy of a swing. It will be probably kind of more consistent, so I can dose it consistently. Um, the calcium and magnesium, I don't really have an issue there. It's just been hovering around 400-ish here, and then this one is around 1250 to 1300 ish. Right now it's kind of low, but it's been kind of up and down. So I am not too concerned about that. I haven't dosed anything on these two sides. It's just mainly alk. Every week I just dose like one dose, and I would like to spread that dose across the whole week so that the change isn't as dramatic. But other than that, I really haven't been messing around with the Apex. It's been, just these things right now. I'm going to figure out how to do some of these other stuff. I don't have, any of these other things hooked up to these, like the pumps, the skimmer. I don't even have a skimmer on here. The heater, I'll probably have the heater on. I'll probably have the heater hooked up to this eventually here, once it gets a little bit cooler. So we'll try out that function here. But yeah, so those are some random things that have been happening throughout the week. Just a quick update on that. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you guys are subscribed. Like always, next time, guys, peace.